Hi there, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for April. Almost said March. April 2022. Just a quick reminder, if you ever want to get a session with me, just go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can simply follow the links in the down bar below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it, and engagement helps this channel out a lot. Now, there are a couple of aspects in April that are very special, and so special that this would turn into a 45-minute incoherent ramble if I included them in a general forecast. So instead of doing something stupid like that, I'm going to save those for a different set of videos that will be coming soon, namely Jupiter conjunct Neptune in Pisces and Pluto turning retrograde in Capricorn. So stay tuned. If you are subscribed, you'll know when they show up. So what's going on when it comes to your April? Well, we start off with a new moon in Aries on April 1st, opening up a 2-week window period for you. Technically, there's a 1-month turnaround on this, but we have new cycles and new beginnings occurring in your 11th house of friendships, social networking, your platonic support system, your crew, so to speak, your community, as well as your highest goals and ambitions. With a new moon in the 11th house, this is an opportunity for a lot of you Gemini people to create and finally get established in the ideal platonic support system for yourself, right? This idea of the perfect brotherhood, sisterhood, companionship, fellowship experience that is also heading towards possibly a deeply treasured goal that you already have, or something that you thought was only going to stay in the realm of fantasy land that can now finally get physicalized, whether this is something that you've been holding on to for a very long time or something that you've aspired to maybe create more recently. This new moon is going to make it so. And the reason this is going to start showing up is because we've also got you getting closer to people that are already heading in the same direction. Now, whether these are people you already know, just being brought closer to you, right? That availability, as well as that proximity, everything's coming together. There's an integration, a convergence going on, or you are also amassing more people to yourself, or both. What's happening here, though, is that your friendship circle is going through a transformation to be something all the more productive and conducive. This is made doubly so, or triply so, I should say, because we've also got the Sun and Mercury in Aries as well, that 11th house, this first half of the month. So the Sun is bringing attention, enhancement, and support to all of these connections and all of these relationships, working on closing the gaps in time, space, and availability for the teammates, the collaborators, the companions, the partners, and the fellows that you are going on these adventures with, or that you know belong on these adventures with you. We're attracting a whole lot of new friends to us. You're going to be feeling quite popular this month. And you may be noticing that certain private projects or certain personal goals or agendas are also gaining in popularity and awareness among other people because of word of mouth. Mercury is speeding up your productivity, right? We're talking about communications, haste, and speed. And a lot of you may be moving up goals that you had set out in the future. If you're one of those people that does the 5-year plan thing, you're going to want to, maybe not be so committed to your old plan, because with Mercury here, we are allowing ourselves to move something up that we had put out too far in the future. A 5-year plan may turn into a 1-year plan or a 6-month plan, and there may be it may be the case that this is happening because of not only all of this help that's coming your way, but a lot of this work is not just getting done by you, right? There's a strong focus on team effort, team success, and a big growth spurt for all concerned. We also have Mars in Aquarius, that planet of action, passion, energy, the obstacle-clearing driving force, moving through your 9th house of higher education, government legal proceedings, travel, as well as culture and your spiritual path and practice. And the first half of the month, Mars is working real hard on championing you and helping you to clear and eliminate a lot of agreements, commitments, contracts, ordinances that have been speaking for a lot of your time, your availability, maybe your money or your resources. Mars is all about getting you out of your box, getting you out of your bubble, getting you out of isolation, getting you out of anything that could be entrapping you, or controlling or limiting your movements and allowing you the freedom to move, to travel, or to have these big breaks that we've been talking about so far. Mars is also going to be bringing in assistance to you, because sometimes with Mars in the ninth house, we also find that a close companion or companion opportunity will be coming to us. This could be an existing friend or ally, or maybe somebody new that is helping us to reach a higher height, maybe because they're on the same path as you, or maybe because they just have the power and resources to make a good trade with you. This is also a time where a lot of you could be pivoting when it comes to a certain long-term career goal or academic goal in favor of something that will grant your wishes more completely. We also have Venus entering Pisces, your 10th house of career, upward mobility, promotions, your status and your station. And Venus will be here from the 5th of April through the end of the month and even going into May. With Venus in your 10th house, this is a time where you are noticing your profile is rising in your career or in your field or the work that you're doing, how you're making your mark on the world. And that favor and popularity is also giving you opportunities to make more money or generate more liquidity for yourself by doing less work. You may be noticing that if you work for yourself, for instance, higher ticket items are what's getting more popular than maybe lower ticket items. For those of you that are maybe in a more conventional employment situation, you may find that raises are definitely on the menu, and you are also getting a chance to maybe alter the terms of an employment contract or alter your status or your station, maybe even get more popular in such a way with the right people or the most influential people to get pulled up into a higher station or a higher position that way. And you're also going to notice people are singing your praises, which is giving you more power and influence over your space, your field, your market, or your professional community. The second half of the month, we've got Mercury entering Taurus, your 12th house of your past, privacy, the hidden zone, and anything that could be relating to matters, that again are going on behind the scenes. With Mercury in the 12th house, this is a time where a lot of doors open up for you that were kept in secret. A lot of things are coming out. Actually, the second half of April. This is where everybody's closet, attic, basement, cupboard opens up, and everything that's been hidden comes out to be seen and shown the light of day. This can be very advantageous for you because not only are you going to be the recipient of a lot of hidden intelligence, you are going to be finding out about shortcuts. You're going to be finding out about hot tips and ways you can advance yourself. This is also a time, yes, where maybe certain stories or certain truths that have been kept behind closed doors, in cupboards, in closets, in attics, in basements do need to come out, because this is also about reconciling incomplete stories or reconciling incorrect beliefs or incorrect truths. This can be helping us to take care of a lot of unfinished business when it comes to maybe social endeavors or family stories. But with a lot of this happening, remember, this is speeding up the completion of a lot of eras and epochs of your life you don't necessarily need to have anymore. This is also a time where these shortcuts or hidden passages you are getting given could be also contributing to a lot of the moving up of deadlines or goals that you may have conservatively put way too far out in the future to be practical or reasonable. And so you might be getting a chance to open some presents early this year. We also have Mars entering Pisces, that 10th house of career and upward mobility. And Mars will be here through May. And with Mars in the 10th house of career, you are getting a chance to break a lot of glass ceilings and shatter a lot of limitations that you have maybe been trying to work with, as opposed to find ways to work ways out of. Mars in the 10th house is a highly competitive force. And you may be finding that during this time you are working a lot more, even if Venus is allowing us to make money, without doing as much work. Mars is saying, hey, if we burn the candle at both ends, imagine how much more that could be. So those of you who are looking to get ahead of your income for the rest of the year, or you're looking to drum up a lot of money really fast, you're trying to make a major purchase or a major transition, this is a good month for you. May is too. But Mars in your 10th house is also giving you a chance to get the jump on a lot of competition, or maybe even overcome some kind of limitation or some kind of block that you have incurred professionally or financially in the past. This is also a time where Mars may be putting you in a position where you can rise through the ranks professionally in your field or at the office by allowing you to overcome opposition that maybe spoke for or had too much influence over your professional future or the future of a goal that you wished you could have, attained in the past. So we're making up for lost time as well. Just keep in mind that people can get a little bit fierce, can get a little bit aggressive with this kind of influence and what's going on. So you want to make sure that you are remembering there's a difference between being assertive and being aggressive. You will have friends to help you out here. You're not going it alone. Just be prepared. You're probably going to be a lot more high profile than you're used to being. We also have a full moon this month in Libra, in your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, recreation, and your relationships with your kids. And this is occurring on the 16th of the month. With a full moon, we are closing up a way of being, right? Culminations and transitions. And this could be a very powerful experience between the 16th and the 29th of the month, because we are changing the way that we communicate not only our love languages, but the way we relate to romantic partners or relating to our kids or maybe creative collaborators. This can be a time where a lot of you may be ending a certain way of performing in a certain kind of relationship, or maybe going through and clearing and eliminating old stories, right? There's a big focus of that as well with that Mercury and Taurus, where we are closing an old narrative or an old way of relating to each other in order to step into something that is much more appropriate and much more mutually fulfilling. This is also a time where a lot of you are going to get a chance to reevaluate not only the way we relate to our kids or relate to our partners or maybe even new people, but begin a new relationship that is essentially, it's a new relationship to have with somebody that you already know, right? And sometimes it happens in all kinds of relationships, romantic partnerships, friendships, relationships with our kids. You go through several different kinds of relationships with that person. You don't just have the same kind of relationship that fossilizes. No, and there's a big evolution point that is being triggered by this full moon. And again, there's a 2-week to 1 month turnaround on that. And for those of you who are single or available to new people, this also applies because this is the end of the era where either A, we have been unsatisfied with a certain element of our love life, or we may be bringing in or bringing closer somebody that is going to fill a void that maybe was, there before. Finally, we've got some really cool stuff to talk about at the very end of the month. We've got the sun entering Taurus, that 12th house of the past, privacy, and hidden zone, and a solar eclipse in Taurus as well. So a super solar eclipse, new moon, new beginnings, and new cycles going on here. So with this combined focus on the 12th house, I want to talk about the solar eclipse first, because the solar eclipse new moon in the 12th house is all about resurrections, bringing things back to life, even aspects of ourselves back to life. Things that we may have lost, things that we may have turned away from, things that may have gotten torn down or suppressed or blocked or diverted or deferred, things that maybe did have their day but collapsed, anything that we wish to really have back again or reintegrated is going to be the name of the game between April 30th and the 30th of July. The sun in the 12th house is also focusing on that attention enhancement and support, which is allowing you to do a lot of reconciliation work with a lot of pursuits, maybe social connections or aspects of self that we have not been able to reconcile with or reconnect with. Sometimes this doesn't necessarily have to do with putting things back together the way they were, but it has to do with giving ourselves a chance to have a story or an aspect of our lives that really does belong, that was never given the chance to fully develop. With the sun there, this could be because the resources or the money or the social connections are there, or maybe, you know, something was ahead of its time, or we're in a better environment. We're doing a lot of swapping out with that. And with the solar eclipse, it's almost like something that was just not set up for success in the past, or was not allowed to develop or allowed to see its full potential before, is now getting its chance this year. So pay close attention to what is going on. It does look pretty huge. A solar eclipse in the 12th house. We are bringing something back to life. What would you like to bring back to life, or what is trying to finally get integrated, developed, and have its day? Really think about that as we go through April. So that is what I've got for you, Gemini. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And should you ever want to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.